Have you ever dreamed of running your own personal AI assistant? I'm talking about something like OpenClaw, a powerful AI that you actually control, running on your own server plugged right into the messaging apps you use every day. It's kind of the ultimate goal, right? A truly private AI that works for you.
So let's get into it. The idea is just so exciting, taking full ownership of your own AI. But just like any powerful tech you decide to set up yourself, there are some pretty serious things you've got to think about first.
And yeah, that brings us to the big catch. The moment you decide to self-host, you're not just the user anymore, you're also the head of security. What kicks off as a really fun project can spiral into a complex and, let's be honest, kind of dangerous security puzzle.
Let's talk about what we'll call the self-hosting security trap. It's this series of really common, super easy to make mistakes that can leave your server, and by extension your personal AI, completely exposed to the internet.
And this is where things get tricky. On one hand, you have the dream, a secure, private AI assistant that just works. But on the other hand, the reality for a lot of manual setups is, well, a minefield. We're talking exposed ports, firewall rules that fight each other, and all sorts of vulnerabilities just sitting there.
And here is one of the biggest culprits, a real classic gotcha. If you're using Docker and UFW, that's the uncomplicated firewall on Linux, you'd think your firewall is protecting you. But here's the thing, Docker messes with network tables directly, totally bypassing UFW's rules. This means your services could be wide open to the public, and you might not even know it. That sounds pretty scary, right? But what if you could just sidestep that entire trap? What if you could get all the power of a self-hosted AI without having to become a full-time cybersecurity expert? Well, that brings us to the one-command solution. So meet openclaw-ansible. It's an open-source Ansible playbook, which is really just a fancy term for an automated instruction manual for servers. It's built to do one thing and do it incredibly well. Deploy a hardened, secure, production-ready OpenClaw instance for you automatically. It just handles all those tricky steps correctly, every single time. So what do you actually get out of the box with this? Well, you get a system that's built with security first, meaning a firewall that's actually configured correctly. It sets up Tailscale for you. That's a VPN that lets you connect to your AI from anywhere without poking holes in your firewall. It hardens Docker, integrates with your system service manager to make sure everything starts up securely with limited permissions, and it even turns on automatic security updates. And the best part? It's all from a single command. Okay, so how does it pull off this level of security? It's not just one simple trick. The playbook actually builds this super robust defense using a 4-layer model. In the security world, we call this defense in depth. It's all about layers. First, you've got the UFW firewall as your perimeter, your castle wall, blocking almost everything. Then, Tailscale creates a secure encrypted tunnel so you're the only one who can get in. Third, Docker keeps the AI in its own little sandbox. And finally, systemd hardening locks down the service itself, so even if something went wrong, it couldn't do much damage. If one layer breaks, the others are still there protecting you. And let's get back to that huge Docker and UFW problem. How does this thing fix it? It uses this really clever built-in Docker feature called the Docker user chain. This lets it sneak in firewall rules that get processed before Docker's own rules kick in, which basically closes that loophole for good. It's a really elegant solution. And check this out. This chart just says it all. A typical manual setup, you could have who knows how many ports open by accident. With the OpenClaw-Ansible playbook, your attack surface is tiny. By default, the only things exposed are the port for managing your server and the one for Tailscale. That's it. It's a night and day difference. Okay, so a multi-layered, hardened security architecture sounds complicated. You're probably thinking, how much work is it to actually set all this up? Let's walk through the installation, because this is the best part. Just think about everything we've talked about so far. The firewall rules, the VPN setup, hardening Docker, this system integration. How do you turn all of that on? You run this. That's it. Seriously, that one line is the entire installation. It downloads a small script that installs Ansible and then runs the whole playbook, setting up everything we just went over. It's complexity made simple. And it doesn't get any harder from here. Once that's done, you just switch to the special OpenClaw user the script made for you, then run the official onboarding tool. 2 simple commands and you're ready to start hooking up your messaging apps. Now that one command is perfect for most people, but what if you're a developer or you have some really specific needs? Well, the playbook isn't just a rigid script. It's actually a super flexible tool. Let's look at how you can customize it. There are 2 main ways to run it. You've got release mode, which is the default. It just grabs the latest stable version of OpenClaw, which is exactly what you want for a setup you can rely on. Then there's development mode, which clones the project from GitHub and builds it right there. It's perfect for developers who want to tinker with new features or even contribute back to the project.
And you can tweak all sorts of things with variables. You can change the username, switch between those install modes we just talked about, or even give it a Tailscale key so your new server automatically joins your private network. You can do all this without ever touching the playbook's code itself.
And this is huge for professional teams. This isn't just some one-off script. It's published as a proper Ansible collection. That means if your company already uses Ansible to manage its servers, you can plug this right into your existing system to deploy and manage OpenClaw instances across your whole organization.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Well, projects like openclaw-ansible do more than just install some software. They make really powerful and complex technology both accessible and safe for everyone. And it leaves us with a final thought. As our personal AIs get more and more powerful, is this kind of automated, secure-by-default deployment going to stop being a nice-to-have and become an absolute essential?